What is going on, guys? Welcome back. Hope you had a great weekend. It is Monday, September 14th, 2020, and this is your American Government Third Hour class brought to you by Mr. Weckbaugh. Like I said, hope you had a great weekend and you're ready to do some work this week. We got 3 classes this week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Today's class looks like it's going to be a little bit long, but it's really not too bad. First 2 things we're going to do kind of fit into our 5-minute review, things we've already talked about. We're kind of going to go out of order first. I'm going to talk to you about late work and grades. And then we'll review. We'll talk about today's topic, which is power distribution between governments and how there are different types of governments that organize their power differently. Give you a bit of an assignment and an attendance question and get you moving on to your final class of the day. But first, like I said, we're going to go out of order here. I'm going to start with number 3 instead of numbers 1 and 2. Late work and grades. Guys, huge, mucho importante announcement for you. Late work is all due by this Wednesday. It is due by this Wednesday because I have got to get you grades out this week. Grades are coming out this week. That means if you have any late work, you got a 0 right now. A 0 is going to crush your grade. If you have 0s, they bring your grade down a whole lot. You can still do any work that you've missed. You guys know who you are. If you've missed an assignment, you need to get that to me ASAP. If you have any questions about it and you don't know who you are, email me. Say, Mr. Weckbaugh, am I missing any work? I will certainly let you know and let you know what you're missing. But get it to me by Wednesday. I don't care if it's Wednesday morning. I don't care if it's Wednesday night. As long as you get it to me by Wednesday, then I can get it into the grade book on Thursday and get your grade raised up, okay? Grades coming out, that's going to be across the board, so any other classes you have, grades also coming out then. I don't know what the other teachers' policies are on late work, but I know that you can always do work, so make sure you find out from your other teachers what their policy is. Now, let's talk about democracy, dictatorships, direct and indirect democracies. All right, guys, take a look at my handy-dandy note chart here. We've got democracy versus dictatorship. Now, this should all be a review, but in a democracy, the main thing, the most important thing is that the people have the power. How do the people have the power? Through voting. So right now, we live in a democracy. You have the power through voting. Now, that means you can either have one of 2 types of democracies. A direct democracy, where people vote on everything, meaning you vote on every law every day. Whenever a law comes up, you vote on it, like they did in ancient Greece. Or indirect democracy, where the people vote for representatives. Then you have people who vote for you on your behalf. They listen to what the people say, and they cast a vote. That's known as a republic. We get that from Rome. So, the key thing here, though, in a democracy, whether it's direct or indirect, the people have the power by voting. Seems pretty good. We got a smiley face up here. Now, a dictatorship, usually not very good. Can't think of a lot of good dictatorships off the top of my head. Why? Because the power is in the hands of the few, meaning not a lot of people have power in a dictatorship. Usually, it's only one person, just one. Think about some of the worst people you've heard of in history. Hitler, dictator. Kim Jong-un, dictator. These are the type of people that have all the power, all the control over their country. The people have almost no say. There's no voting. Or if there is, it's kind of a sham. You just vote for whatever the dictator wants you to vote for. If you even do that. Maybe the dictator says everybody voted, but nobody voted, and they get their way. And the people, since they can't vote, they really have no say. And they can be punished if they decide to speak out for any sort of reason. If they say, hey, we are against this dictator doing this, you might want to watch out, because what's that dictator probably going to do if people start coming at him? Starts knocking them off left and right. A dictatorship is a very bad form of government most of the time, almost all the time. The main idea here is that in a democracy, the people have the power. In a dictatorship, the people have almost no power. All right, let's talk about this week's assignment. Okay, did I just say this week's assignment? I mean today's assignment. Today's assignment, you are going to be researching a unitary government, a federal government, and a confederate government. And you're going to be doing it using the handout that we've had this whole time. Guys, it looks like this puppy, all right? It's got our democracy and dictatorship. That's where we started. Underneath, we've got our 3 different types of government. But just in case you couldn't see that there or you don't have it in your email for some reason, if you don't have it in your email me. I'll get it back to you so you can do it. But you are going to take each one of those 3 types of government. You're going to research each one and give me 2 sentences explaining the characteristics of that government. So 2 sentences explaining the characteristics of a unitary government, 2 sentences explaining the characteristics of a federal government, and then 2 sentences explaining characteristics of a confederate government or a confederacy. After you do that, you're going to give me 1 example of a country with that power structure. Now, you're talking about, Mr. Weichbaum, we just said power. We're talking about people have the power in a democracy. I don't see democracy up there. I don't see a dictatorship up there. This is just kind of a structure. For example, let me explain that a little bit better. In America, do we have a dictatorship or a democracy? I'm begging that you said democracy. God, I hope you said democracy. We do not have a dictatorship. We have a democracy. However, we also have a federal government. Of these 3, America has a federal government because what a federal government basically is saying, hey, there's power for the nation and then there's power for the individual states. We have 50 states, so each state has their own laws. But we also have all the states together as a country, the USA, and the USA has its own laws. Now, that's a federal government. That's going to be a little bit different than the other 3, or the other 2, excuse me. But my point is you can have a democracy in almost all 3 of these. A democracy is just saying who has the power. These are 3 different types of power structures of how the government designates power amongst its country. So that is your assignment for today. Again, you can do it on this piece of paper if you printed it out. If you're typing it up on your computer, you can do that. If you had to hand write it out, you can keep doing that. All of that is fine. That will also serve as today's attendance question. So once you send that to me, I'll be able to mark you as absent. That made no sense. Rewind. As soon as you send it to me, I'll be able to mark you as present, not absent, for today's class on this Monday, September 14th. If you have any questions, as always, got the laptop here. We're in the school office today, also known as the classroom. Don't know if you guys keep noticing this, but my top button keeps getting unbuttoned. I don't know what's going on. Maybe I need to start working out, lose a little weight. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day. We'll see you guys on Wednesday. Take care.